coders, good morning, bear with me. There we go. Hello coders. Sorry, I was having some problems with my computer. It was saying no, computer says no. So hopefully the stream will be okay today. Try to get it running off of the laptop to see if I can actually have a second screen running, but then that crashed, so well, never mind. Anyway, today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. It's a JavaScript stream, JavaScript stream. Can't talk this morning. So we're going to be looking at JavaScript to create an API client for the How to Code Well site. If I go over to this tab here, this one, this is the API endpoints that we have been working through and testing, and we still need to test these in terms of the back end. We got to this part here, the forgotten password and the profile bits. That's where we ended up. So we've still got a lot of stuff to go through and test. We've also done the author stuff, which is good. So it's mostly around the user, the tags, and the resources. So we do need to test those, and we will be doing those probably Thursday and then on to Sunday. But a side project, I guess, from this is to actually create an API client on the front end. Now, this API client is going to be JavaScript based, it's going to be Node, and it's just going to be, well, I say just, it's going to be basically like the How to Code Well SDK, if that makes sense. So my little software development kit. So I've started creating some tasks in here. So we have our some requirements. So 80% code coverage, tested requests via Nork, okay, type tested via flow, cover all known endpoints. So basically use this as my things to do list, essentially. And I have actually gone through all of these and added the child issues that correspond to the specific groups here. So there was method to my madness when I created this Swagger thing here. Okay, it needs to be a private NPN package because the idea is that this API client will slot in and replace a lot of the calls that Gatsby is doing, which is this task down like so. Now, I've already started building this. I started building this about a week or so ago, and so far it's all working well. So this is what it looks like. Good morning, Liquid Web. No worries. I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you ate it. Liquid Oxygen. Sorry, not Liquid Web. The organisation is always really bad around here. Oh, is that a compliment on the actual on the tasks? Yes. I thought you meant the actual stream. Yeah, so what we've done, I'll demonstrate what I've done already, right? So it's using Jest to create the tests. Whoops. So an example here is that the courses here, and it's using Nork to create a kind of like mocked API endpoint. So we create the scope, we pass in some dummy headers, which is the authorization, and then we do courses free, and we test for a reply of 200 OK. Now you can go in for a lot more detail with this. You can actually start testing the body out if you wanted to mock the body, but we don't necessarily need to do that at this stage. I'm only worried about mocking the actual request itself. So essentially they're going to be very similar to this. It's just my way of creating the actual requests and then testing that the request can actually be made. And the requests go through, so they go through here, src. If we were to take one of these, for instance, the courses, what we're doing here, it's a JavaScript class which extends API. I'll demonstrate what that means in a minute. We've got a method here called getAll, we've got getById, and we've got enroll, and we've got enrolled. So these are going to be the actual endpoints, okay? And then what happens here, because you can see I've mocked these out with just some well, these two with just strings, so they need to be filled today. But these two here, the post request and the get request, these are like my little tests. For instance, what we're doing here is we're supplying an ID, which has to be a string, and then we put the string in here, and then we run post. And when we run post, what happens is it goes to the API.js, because remember, course.js extends from API. We ran post. We take the endpoint and the payload. Excuse me. Payload is optional. We pass that to return.this endpoint. The changes here is that this is post and this is get, so this is kind of my lightweight wrapper, if you will. Passing up the endpoint, so if we click on to request, so essentially both of these go into the same pot. It's just the difference between post and get. So this is my little lightweight API endpoint, API client. So request then creates a request, deals with the URL, so it takes the endpoint, maps it to this base URL, which is defined above here. I would at some stage like this to be done in configuration, so I could configure this to other endpoints. Anyway, so it deals with the options, so it gets the method, which was passed through, so this is post or get. Deals with the headers, and I'll talk about that in just a second because we can change those. And then it checks whether it's a post, and if it's a post, it deals with the post payload. And then it does this the fetch, so it then actually does the request. So it fetches the URL, passes in the options, which were defined up here, and then it checks whether it's not okay. If it's not okay, it throws an error. If it is, then it returns a promise, which is JSON. So it's very lightweight at this stage of the game, exceptionally lightweight. And I've started doing it for the course. Obviously, we've got things to do with the get by ID and the enrolled, but I've also worked on the customer as well. These are basically like little placeholders. And then, sorry, that's the course view, and then this is the customer. The idea is that I can slip this into Gatsby and replace all of my crazy API endpoints. So I did this in a state of desperation the other day. I'm going to bring up the portal and I'll show you what I mean by what I'm going to replace. So I think that's probably a good thing to demonstrate what I'm going to replace here. So this is Gatsby. This is the front end, and for example, in SRC here we have a services folder, and in services folder it's basically just a dumping ground for services that I'm throwing together. So we've got the API in here, and we've got auth.api, and none of these really follow any form of consistency or convention. So here's the course API, for instance, get course. Here is customer. Process the payments. This is the tags, and it just got very messy. And also, one thing I was really missing, because I do a lot of PHP, is the fact that I could actually get some static type analysis based on the responses. So the responses were just like it was just a JavaScript object, which could be anything. Now with using Flow, I can actually define what the response is going to be in the promise, which is great. So I could actually define the response through that, and then I've got this crazy thing for headers, and it's not good. It's not good. And to test all of this, I would have to test all of this, if that makes sense. So I decided that it would be an idea to remove a lot of this stuff and put it in another package. Plus, there's other ways into this, like for instance, there's what was I doing? Like course enrollment JS is like a wrapper to getting the courses, and it's just like it and registering to a course, and it was just full of all of this nastiness. Nothing really had any level of consistency. And also, if I went to, there was a form I was having problems with. Where's that? Is it again in service? No. Components. See, the whole structure is just odd. Okay, so let's look at the which one was I looking at? Profile form. No, register form. Yeah, so this mess deals with the whole registration process, and this goes through an API endpoint, and then this goes through another API endpoint. And it's just like, what? Where am I? What's going on here? This is crazy. This is ridiculous. So all of this logic is going to be lifted and put into the client, which is in here, which is going to be nice and clean and just sort of an easy way that is very well defined, I hope. Hey Tyrannid, thank you for joining. Yeah, like I said, I've got this set up with things like Nork for the testing, so for the mocking of the APIs. So again, I'll just go through that. So let's do get on this one. So this was going to do request. So this will make the request to this, and if we go to customer, not that one. Sorry, this one. I can knock out the actual request. And these are done in Jest, and this is Jest. If I ran make tests, it's pretty similar to the one I've got on on the actual API. I'm trying to make my commands nice and consistent across my project. So if I ran make tests, this is going to, first of all, it's going to do an ESlint fix. Now I know that there is a warning. There's a problem that I have on the actual API, which I'm kind of like trying to skip over with this this ignore thing here. It's something to do with the response here. I can, the code works, so I'll deal with that later. It does the ESlint fix to fix any issues, and then it does another ESlint to check if there's any issues, and then after that it runs flow, which is checking for the static types. So for example, these things. This is saying this is a string, this is a string, this is an optional payload or an optional object, this is a promise, and that promise is going to be a string. To be honest, that needs to be an object. But anyway, we'll probably cross that bridge soon. And then, so it says there's no errors, and then after this it does run test coverage, so it's now going through all of these. And here I can see that we've got some code coverage. So these are running all the APIs, and we can see that it's at 95%, 100% on the functions, 95% on the lines. The uncovered line here is line 45 of API, and that is this one. So I haven't yet been able to test whether or not there is a problem. So I've only been able to test for successes rather than failures. So that would be something to look into at a future date, I think. The really good thing about doing running Jest with code coverage, which is I'll show you my package.json, because all of this is wrapped in a make file here. So if I ran tests, this is all the things that would run. If I went to the unit test coverage, it's going to do run npm run test coverage, and of course that goes to the package.json, and in here we do test coverage jest -- coverage, and the test coverage ends up in this folder here, which is ignored. And if I was to open this up, it actually generates a report. So if I open that up, we should be able to see these files and the code coverage, and I believe if I can click into here, I should be able to show you, yeah, it's this point here. This is the thing that hasn't been covered, that line. No worries, Tyranid. I'm glad you could make it. This feels like the most tested project you'll ever see. Yeah, I'm very paranoid. I'm a paranoid person when it comes to my own code. I mean, I should probably say that a lot of the work that I do for clients and freelancers, they're not this heavily tested. Usually because I come in after the project has started, and so you know the whole testing stuff has already been decided and agreed. I use a lot of static analysis though. Definitely. This is why I'm using Flow, because I mean I've only used Flow for the past few weeks, so I'm still very new to all of these toys that I'm playing with. Okay, so let's get on and actually start writing some stuff. So what I need to do today really is to finish the courses, and we'll go through which would close that off, this task. None of this is in any particular order, by the way. I just literally went on here and I just got the groups and put it into this. So you know, we'll just work our way through these. And the fact that I've already got stuff for course view and customer, I think that's a good starting point. So the things that I need to work with here is the get by ID, anything that returns a string really. So apart from, anything that doesn't make this post. So, okay, this one here, get by ID. So the idea is that this is going to return a promise, and it's probably, I'm sending them to strings at the moment. It's probably going to be, it's going to be different, right? It's going to be different, but yeah, I haven't got to that point yet at the moment. I've only got to the point where I'm actually testing the requests and not the responses. So anyway, this is going to do return this dot get, and then we're passing in a particular endpoint, which I believe is courses. Where are we? Course ID, API courses ID. So it would be /courses /plus ID, like that. Now, what I need to do, obviously, is write the test to back this up. So let's go over to the courses.test. We have... okay. I see where I've left it. So I've actually created the tests. Have I? Have I created the tests already? Get all courses, that's that one. And then this one is get a course by ID. Expect ID to be. Oh, okay. Right, no, this is just a test to test that the string worked. Fair enough. Okay, no, that's fine. All right, let's build this out. So it's going to be very similar to this one. So we do a const and then a knock. We define the base path. We pass in the request headers. And then we are looking for a get request. So we can run. And this is the ID. We don't need this. We're looking for a 200 OK. It should be a get request. And what else do we need to do? Data. It doesn't have, that's the reply, so that's fine. And then it's checking for let's tidy that up a wee bit. Course is new. We're adding the token to the header, and then we're doing API dot, and this API is the courses, so we do, is it get by ID? Yes, we pass in the ID. And then we do scope done. Okay. What are these errors for? Oh, these are ESlint jobs. But I think I'm skipping the ESlint on the tests. So I will tidy this up. I will do that. I've got some... yeah, ESlint is a bit like Marmite to me at the moment. You either love it or you hate it. I love it when it works. All right. Okay, so let's run those tests. So again, we'll do the make tests. Okay, there is an error. Okay, what's this? Get courses by ID. Getting course because string is incompatible with a promise. Aha. Okay, so this is because if I did get by ID, it's getting... yes, fine. That makes sense. So let's come out of this. Let's bring this in. Run those tests again. Keep thinking I'm in the terminal. And they're done. So yeah, essentially that's basically it. Once all these endpoints are actually created, what I'll do is I'll start mapping this to an actual object. And what I'll go through is each and every single one. I'm only putting them to a string because it returns... well, it shouldn't really be a string, to be honest. It's a bit silly that they are strings, to be fair, because they don't actually return strings. They return JSON, and that would become an object. So I'm kind of meh. Yeah, but I'm going to go through each one individually once they're all the requests are in. I'll go through all the responses and test those. I think that's probably a good idea. Okay, so all right, so that's that one. Get by ID. And the next one on courses is, let's bring this out so I can actually split the code. That's probably a good idea, isn't it? Because we're only going to be working on this one. Well, let's get rid of some of this rubbish. Let's make things a little bit more cleaner. So we've got the courses here, and then we're going to do the... Can I move that over there? Apparently not. Apparently not. I want tests on the right. Thank you. I want tests on the right. And I want the actual code on the left. There we go, and then that's a better working space. Okay. No worries, liquid oxygen. Take care. Okay, so we've got the get all, get the get by, we got the enrollment, that's fine, that's running a post, and then we got the enrolled. So enrolled is... I think I was trying to do this one. Enrolled. And there's no ID on this. I think that's right. Enroll and then enrollment's mine. There's nothing else to do with that. It's just, yeah. So this isn't going to take an ID. So this is just not going to have anything. And it's going to return this. And the endpoint for this is going to be a GET request. And this GET request is going to be course API enrollments. So actually this isn't in courses. Okay, all right, we'll continue. API enrollments, and then this is mine. Okay, so with the tests here, we've got enroll into a course, and then we've got get my enrollments, and if we run this, it's going to fail because this is expecting a string rather than a promise. So let's run that, just to make sure that's the case. I think this is the case. Yep. So a similar thing to all of this. Let's copy all that. Paste it in. So this is API here. so it's a GET request. It does the enrollments. Is it 2 L's? Yeah, enrollments. S. And then we can remove that. So this will intercept any API requests to this endpoint here. Enrollments/mine. And then this is doing API.enrolled. We're not passing anything in. And we definitely need to pass in a token here. What's going on with that? The await operator can only be used in an async function. Of course it can. Yep, let's copy that, pass it down into here. Okay, and then what's going on with this? Unexpected async. What? Tests, enroll. Get my enrollments. That's exactly the same. I don't understand. Yeah. Unless I've got my brackets in the wrong place. Await API enrolled. I think I've messed something up here. Let me just copy that and paste it in, and then just update the whole thing. I've obviously screwed something up. Yeah, that's better. So what was the difference? Just so I can test, and then the test name, and then async. Test name, async. That's strange, because now, or maybe it was, yeah, maybe it was just an IDE thing. Let's just run the tests. Let's just run the test. There we go. There we go. That's good. Good. And of course, if I was to do like, if I was to make a request to something that doesn't exist, then it would fail, right? Because this is, we're defining the actual interception here. Cool. So I think what I'm going to do in here is just create a task to go through responses. Actually, this is, I'll tell you what. Let's just define this to just be API client requests. And what I think I'll do is once this is done, I'll then do a response. So at this point, we're only testing requests and not responses. I'll make a note of that. We are only testing requests at this stage. Later there will be tests for responses, and what I mean by that is if we go, let's say for instance, when we make, say, this API call here, what I could do is with Flow I could actually create a typed response. So if I was to do say const get all, right, and then equal that to be something else, and go through Postman and actually see what the response actually is. So this would be, say, I don't know, data, and data would have obviously the attributes, and those attributes would have I don't know, the course name or something. I don't know. I'm making this all up. What we can do once we have all of this is we can say, well, it's a promise, and that promise is an object of get all. Yeah, something like that. And we can actually define that back. So when we get to the Gatsby, when we run the code, we can actually, when we develop using this API client, we can actually pull out the required bits and pieces. But we haven't got that far yet. We're only dealing with the requests, which is actually making that request to those endpoints. Okay, so that's enrolled in get by ID. What I'm going to do is, because this here, I'm going to make a decision now, because this starts with enrollments and not courses. What I'm going to do is take it out and put it into this thing here. I'm going to put this into another file just to keep consistency across the API endpoints and the API clients. I do at some point want to go through and tidy up the actual paths of these things, because I don't like them, quite frankly. So we're going to split this out. We're going to put in another set here. We're going to do enrollments, because that's what it is. And enrollments is just going to have enrolled. And in fact, we're going to change that to be mine, to be the same as the endpoint here. So enrollments mine. You noticed I'm trying to keep consistency across some of these things here. Okay, so that would be enrollments mine. That would be enrollments. It would extend the API. Now I've made this change, I need to go and change the tests as well. So we're going to copy the tests and paste it in here. We're going to call this enrollments. And we're going to get rid of everything apart from the last one. And on tests, we're going to get rid of, which is here, we're going to get rid of this one. Okay, let's see if we can run this and, has that broken anything? Nope, that's all good. Although, have we tested enrollments? I can't see it there. That's strange. Why has that not been tested? API. Enrollment's mine. That's a bit strange. Let's run this without coverage. Let's just do make test, or make unit test. So what do we get? Yeah, we did hit enrollments. All right, let's try and do it with everything else. Why am I not hitting? That's so strange. I don't appear to be hitting on code coverage, and yet enrollments are in, so that's strange. I don't know why that's happening. Oh, it's not happening because API is still set to courses. Does this mean then? Yes, I've still got it in there. See, testing is good. Testing is good. I didn't remove the actual API endpoint from here, and the test here is that this needs to be set to enrollments, and that should be dot mine. There we go. All right, let's run the tests once more. No, I'm not using the terminal today. There we go. So we should now have enrollments, which we do. Sweet. Okay, good. Okay, the next thing then, once we have the enrollments, we can take a look at the course views. So first up, I just want to make sure we've got courses and then the type. The type is, I just want to double check I've got every single thing. So that's get all, passing in the type. Good. And then get by ID, and then this one is enroll. So that should cover off that one, and that one. And we've done that one. Sweet. So now moving on to the views. Okay, so again, these need to be changed to... We'll do all of this in one hit, I think, just for speed. So we got view, which is this one. And then we got views, which is... Does that pass in the ID? Get by ID. Yeah, get by ID. That's view. That's viewed. This is an example of where I'm not a fan of my naming conventions at all with these endpoints. All right, so view ID, views ID, and then what's the other one? View, views, and another views. How ridiculous. How absolutely ridiculous. Okay, I got to remind myself what this is. So this is, I want to view this course. This is getting all the views, of this course, and then this is getting all the courses I've viewed. Crikey. Gosh, I need to sit down and just go through this. This is going to be a Sunday job, I think, of tidying all this stuff up. Right, so view, I want to view the course. Views is I want to get all the courses, and then viewed is I want to get all the courses that I viewed. Okay. Yikes. All right. So what's wrong with that? Unexpected prof end of string. Not sure what that means. Anyway. Okay, so it's gonna be something like this, passing in the ID, I think. Again, we need to test all this stuff. So I tell you what I'll do is I'll put this above. This is going to be the ID, and then this is going to be view, like that. Okay, so that's what I want it to be, and then I think this is the same but with S on the end, views. Yep. Passing in the ID here. Good. And then the one below is not going to have an ID. I think it just goes straight to views. Is it views or view? I don't know. Views with an S. That really should be view. Oh, never mind. I will get through. I will spend some time to refactor these endpoints to make them just read better. I think that's my biggest problem right now. Okay, so let's deal with those tests. So we're gonna just go into here and, well, I suppose I could just press Control O and then Command O, and then it's course view. Do I have any tests for courses? Course. Let's do all. Course view test. There we go. Okay, so it's not that anymore, it's this. So let's grab this, paste it into here. So I want to test that I can view a course. Okay. In fact, I'm going to just copy that whole method, I think. And all of that. Alright, so that's the endpoint. This is the bearer token. And is it a GET request? No, it's a POST request. And we're passing in the ID. So let's grab an ID that we are aware of. Let's say this one, for instance. And then it's view. So this is a new course view. Supply the headers. And then this is .view. Okay. So that should test this out. Why is this ESlint just being angry, like an angry bee? I'm gonna just run flow, make flow. Oh, not in there, in here. Cannot return you have blah 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 because it's incompatible with the promise. So this is course view line 11. Aha. My stream seems to be dropping. Get all, let's change that to be get all. Let's view the course. There we go. And then this one is going to be get views of a course. Passing in the ID of this. My stream seems to be falling all over the place in terms of like the bit rate, so I don't know if it's up or down or whatever. Shaking all about, no idea. Why is this failing? You have an error because incompatible promise, incompatible return. You have viewed the course. This is this one down here. You have viewed the course. Okay. Courses views. Get all my views. Viewed. Yep. Alright, let's run that again. No errors on this one. Sweet. Let's now run make tests. Keeps saying welcome to the chat room again and again and again, so I'm guessing it's dropping. Okay, what's going on? Okay, so this is an example of the Nork in action. Let's just bring this out a bit. This is why I miss the terminal, like just having a terminal. So this is the response. This is the mocked response. So you can see that the bearer token has been added. So failed reason Nork match response. No match for request. Sorry. So this is course view. view the course. And then this one is view of the course, and then this one, they're all wrong. Get all my views, they're all wrong. Okay, I'm obviously doing something really wrong. Let's start at the top. So I would like to post. Can you see what's going on here? What I'm doing is I'm saying I want to post, but I'm doing a get. This is why it's good to mock out your APIs, because my SDK, which is the thing on the left here, has the wrong request type method. So this should be post, right? And then this is get views of a course. This actually should be get, right? So that should be okay. And then this one is get all my views. This should also be a get. So if we ran this again, fingers crossed, we might have some progress. Nope. Still an issue with the view of course. That's it, view the course. View the course is the post request. So view the course. API view. Post. View is post. Passing in the ID. No, we're not passing in the ID, that's why. Not actually passing in the ID, that's probably why. Okay, let's run that again. Yeah, that's fine now. That's all fine. I wasn't passing in the parameter. Good stuff. Okay, I want to see why Flow is complaining on here, and yet it's not actually complaining down there. It's a strange thing. Let's just close that file. Sometimes with ESlint and Flow together, you have to close a file and reopen it for PHP Storm to acknowledge that there is change. Yes, that's all done. It's not as hot as it is on things like PHP. Which would make sense because it's PHP Storm. Okay, alright. So, we've done view, views, and viewed for the course view. View, views, and that should really be viewed, but we've kind of covered that. So let's go over to let's take a step back a minute and go through these. So what have we done? We've done courses, so we can mark this off as done. Good, and then we've got we haven't done forgotten password, we haven't done categories, we've done enrollments, I think. Well, we've definitely done course view. Have we done enrollments? That was this one where it's just mine, and we have that, right? So that would be this. Mark that as done. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is we're just going to line this up a little bit with here. So we're going to take a look at category, just so I'm not jumping up and down all over the place. So we'll do categories. Now this is a GET request to get all the categories. So first up, let's create our tests. So let's do is it categories or category? Category, and it's categories. See, my naming is difficult. I would love to have a level of consistency across all of this. Categories. this is get all categories. Okay, we pass in a dummy bearer token, and then this is categories. And is there anything else? No, it's just API categories. Okay, we want a 200 requests. We're not bothered by the actual response at this stage. We're going to instantiate categories, which doesn't exist yet at the moment, so we're doing a little bit of TDD here. We're adding the token, and then we're doing get all. That is what we want to achieve. All right, so let's run these tests. These should fail. Whoops. And it fails on the flow, I think. Because, yeah, no, it fails on the test because categories isn't defined. That's fine. That's what we expected. So let's create our little thing in here. So this would be categories. This would be get all. It's a get request, and this is cats. Whoops. Cats. C-A-T. Ah, come on. Categories, and the class is going to be called categories. Excellent. And let's see if that's wired up on the test. Categories, probably have to import it in. Let's tidy up those imports. Alright, now let's run those tests. Done. Smashed it out the park. So we now have categories as tested here, enrollments, customer, I'm yet to do course views. We're still running around 95% code coverage on this, which is good. Just you wait and start until I start testing the responses. Oh, good. Okay, let's is that all I've got to do for category? It is. It is. Okay, so again, let's go into here, and let's mark this one as done. Thank you very much. Okay, we're sliding through this a little bit. The heavy ones are around the users because there's a lot for those. What's next? What's the next thing? Categories, courses, enrollments, views, done those. Customer. Okay, let's do the customer. So this is customer payment. It doesn't take anything, it's just a post request. It takes obviously the bearer token. So again, create the test. Customer. Test. Oh, this is make payment. Make payment. And this is going to be customer. Is it customers or customer? I forget. Customer. See, naming conventions. All of these are plural, apart from that, which is annoying. Customer. And then this is payment. It's a 200 request, 200 OK payment that we're testing for. This is customer. Oh wait, hang on a minute. What are we doing here? Have I just copied this? Where am I? This is in customer. Yeah, no, that's fine. Were we not testing this beforehand? I'm getting confused. Didn't we just run customer.js? Yeah. So okay, fine. Anyway, so this is now customer. And this request is going to be payment. Yeah. Okay, so this will fail. I just want to double check something a minute. That just feels strange. Payment. Get customer test. No, this is all on the right file. Yep, okay. Alright. Okay, so this is now going to run this. It'll fail. It should fail. it fails because the expected value to be equal to true but received was false. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay. Oops. That's what I wanted to do. Let's go into customer itself. This needs to be altered significantly. So, I'll tell you what, let's just copy one of these things, bung it into here. So, this is payment now. It doesn't take an ID, it's a post request, mind. And this would be customer. And that would be payment. Let's run that test again. Did that work? No, it failed. What did it fail on? The response. API customer payment failed. Reason no match for request. Usually means that I've got my request methods the wrong way around. This is this post customer payment. So customer is a get. Yep. That needs to be post. There we go. If I was to, just to give you an example, right? If I was to run like that, for instance, and then ran this, it's not going to intercept that request, so it'll fail. So this is my way of checking that the actual paths are correct, if that makes sense. Hey, CrackMac2, thank you for following and joining and becoming part of it. You've set the emotes off. Woohoo! See them rise, rise, my beauties. So yeah, I need to set that back to payment, and then we can run this again, make tests, and off it runs. So this is do ESlint and all of that good stuff. Good. All right. That was payment. I think that's the only one we need for this one. So I will mark that off as done. Off you go. Customers is out of here. Done. Boom. Are people trying to grab me on Discord? Hold on. Give me a second. No, that was just my notification. I've got my JavaScript courses going out today. Check this out. One's just gone live. This is the power of scheduling. Let's bring up a new window. YouTube. Go to the YouTubes. I have just published well, this is my logged in dashboard, okay? So I've just published the first course for the JavaScript array, and these are coming in the next few days. And I've also changed the thumbnails for the PHP course that I've done. Yeah, I think they look a little bit better than this, to be honest, with these thumbnails. They're a bit more consistent. So anyway, this one went off today. I will give you that in the link. I'll bring this down. It's only because I'm only not showing this on stream just because I'm logged in at the moment. I'm sure YouTube will be a bit upset.
Scoob.
Whoops. Whoopsie, whoopsie, whoopsie. So, this one here, let me dial that down a minute. Yeah, this one here is going through how to create a JavaScript API, arrays in JavaScript. So I will post that into the chat if anybody's interested on that one. So I'll just push this in. New video, new JS tutorial. I really should get this automated to actually get into the Twitch stream. There we go. So that went off today. I don't actually know. I mean, earlier my stream dropped and it still is quite flaky in terms of the bitrate, so I don't really know, and I keep seeing that the chat keeps being refreshed, welcome to the chat room type stuff, so I don't really know if anybody's in here, to be honest. I'm just talking to myself. However, is Meister, is that the right word? Is Meister, thank you for following. Thank you for following and joining and being a part of this thing. This is brilliant. Thank you. So yeah, there are some people around, although my view counter is obviously not flowing. I don't know. I'm just talking to myself. Going mad. Nothing new there. Okay. All right. So we've just done. What have we just done? We've just done the payment stuff, haven't we? So we can do the forgotten password. Both of these are post requests. This will return the token. Okay, it will also fire off the email, and then this one will, once you've got the token and you click on the link, you go to the particular page, and then you can reset your password. That's basically the logic behind it. So we need to test these two things out, right? So we'll go to Crack Mac 2. Thank you for letting me know. Oh, good. Okay, so we want to do a test for a forgotten password. Just to do a quick sort of recap as to what on earth I am doing. So for the last 3 years, I've been building as a side project because I'm a freelancer. So few and far between times have I been doing this, really. But I've been doing it on and off for about 3 years. This project is my platform. I have approximately 17, 18 courses on YouTube. And what I would like to do is build my own platform for people to go and learn how to code well. It's called howtocodewell.net. It's going to replace the current howtocodewell.net site, which is currently built in Symfony, but it's very hard coded in Twig. There's no content management system behind it. So this one is very different. This one is this has a Symfony backend, which is a content management system, plus an API, and the front end is built in Gatsby, which I haven't shown today yet. And these are the API endpoints for that we've built. And what I'm doing is building a JavaScript API client, because the current API requests are very dirty in terms of they're not very readable. So this API client will slip into the Gatsby as a service, or as a plugin, I guess, or not a plugin, as a service, I guess you would call it. And then make my API calls nice and consistent. We're using Flow, ESlint, Jest, all of that good stuff to make sure that these are all tested, as you can see here. And at the moment, I'm only concerned with the requests. There's going to be another task for me to actually go through the responses of each one and in Flow define them out. So this is going to be my little SDK, essentially. Okay, so this is, and normally I would be streaming PHP because this is a very PHP heavy project, because once the front end is done, it's like it's done. The legwork, the heavy lifting is done on the back end. So what's this? Test. My stream's still saying, my little thing, it's still saying connecting to chat. And then welcome to chat. So I don't even know if I'm connected to my own chat. It's my own stream. Who knows? Who knows? So this is a post request. It's going to go to the endpoint of password forgotten. And this is going to be password, and then this one is forgotten. Now these classes obviously don't exist yet, so we'll just, whilst we're here, we'll put in the other one, because there's only two for this. So this one is reset. Still password, so that's forgotten. And I think, is it just the next thing, reset on the side there? There we go. Yeah, reset. Again, it's a post request. Now I need to think. Let's have a look, open these up a bit. So we do supply the email address as the payload for these post requests. For that one particular request. Okay. Password here. So this is going to be forgotten. Did I run these tests and did they fail? It's always good to run failing tests just so you know what you're dealing with. There should be one. Yeah, there's two. Good. Oh, yeah, no, there's two, but the actual thing is not right. For the class forgotten. That should be forgotten Is it password forgotten? Password forgotten. And this is a post request. We'll deal with the actual body of this in a minute. Maybe I should do that as a second pass. So the first pass, we just get the URLs straightened up. The second pass, we go through the post requests. And the third pass, we go through the responses. It's probably the more methodical way of doing it rather than doing it individually. So, okay, 2 fails. Reference error. Password is not defined. There is a password. Oh, have I just not dealt with the imports? Yeah. Sort all that out. Yeah, I think that's probably the way I'm going to go. So I'm going to limit the scope of this task again. Just say, so we're only dealing with a request at this stage. Later there will be tests for responses. I can't spell responses. Responses. And later there will be tests for post request bodies. Okay. So at the moment I'm only concerned with the actual URLs. Then we're going to go through each post request and scope out the bodies, And then once that's done, we'll take a look at the responses and see if we can create a flow type for the response. I think that's probably the best way to go. Yeah, so we'll do like a couple of passes on this. And also the reason why I've de-scoped some of this stuff is because I am a freelancer, so and today I've got lots of stuff to do on projects, and the stream will end in about 15 minutes, so I can't do everything, unfortunately. Okay, so forgotten password. That should now be... Is that now done? I definitely want to fix what's going on. API.reset. Have I not got a reset method? No, I haven't. That's why. That's why. Forgotten and then reset. Expected a blank. ESlint. Are you feeling better now, ESlint? Thank you. Gosh. It is a good thing and a bad thing. It's like Marmite, ESlint. Alright, that's good. Okay, so that's the password stuff done. Done. Okay, sort of smashing through these now. There's more done than there isn't done, which is good. Create an API endpoint for the profile. Is that the next one on the list? Yeah, profile edit. We can just smash through that. This takes... well, I haven't even defined what this takes yet. Gosh. Okay. Yeah, so I think there's a wider task to be done to as we go through these, to yeah. Why is that a post request and why is that an ID? Yeah. So all of these questions. What I'll do is I'll get this JavaScript client built in terms of the API paths, and then I think I'm going to go through the whole thing, both front and back end, and just go through on a granular level per request. And just make sure that they are doing what they should do. Like, for example, what was the one I just saw? This one, post API courses view. You pass in the ID here. Why is ID a parameter? Or is this... Oh, no, wait. Sorry, that's the parameter. Gotcha. It's not a parameter of the post body. I just got confused. Yeah, because you can see that that's a parameter for the get. Okay, anyway, what we go on? Profile edit. So this should be reset, and this up here should go to profile edit. It's a 200 OK. This is going to go to profile, which doesn't exist yet, and this is going to go edit. So let's create this. Profile. This would be edit. Oops. It's a post request. And I think this would go to profile. Edit, like so. Right, let's run those tests. Oh, nope. What's going on here? Profile is not defined. I always miss that. Okay, let's now run. Cool. Still 96. It's gone up to 96. I thought it was 95 before. Okay, fine. I'm sure it'll change as soon as we start testing the actual body of the post requests and then the responses. Definitely. Don't want to get too cocky. Oh, look, it's 95% code complete. Oh, look at that. Yeah, right. We're only just testing paths. That's all we're doing at this stage. Okay, so that's the profile edit stuff. So that would be here. That's done. Time 8:18. That's fine. Okay. I'm getting hungry. I need my breakfast. I've been up since about 5-ish, 5:30. Create API endpoints for tags. What's that? What's that? Where's that? That's this one. And then we got resources. Did I not put resources down? No, I didn't. That's not good. Create API client endpoints for resources. Tut. Can I move this up? Alright, let's deal with the resources. Because I think that's the next on the list. Yep. So both get requests. This one takes an ID. So this is getting all the resources. This gets a specific ID, a resource. Resource, by the way, is a book at the moment. So books that I recommend. So again, let's create some tests for this. So this is get all resources. So it's a get request, and we're doing resource is, and then this is, it's just that, because we're getting all of them. We'll instantiate a new resources, and we'll do get all, we'll call that. I'm going to copy this and paste it into here, and we're doing get a resource. Now this requires an ID, so get by ID is what we're going to call it. So this is an ID. Let me see, can I get into... I knew I was going to have to get into the terminal. I want to find an ID of a resource. What's the easiest way to do that? Do I just go into the MySQL Docker container and then just pull that out? I suppose that's probably a good idea, right? So let's do MySQL. Oops, no, hang on. Docker exec -it. Actually, what are my... Have I? No, I haven't evaluated the shell, that's why. There we go. Use how to code. Oops. Code. Ah, come on. I want to get, so show tables. I would like to get select ID from, I would like to get the resource from resource. There we go. Any one of these will be great. Doesn't matter. I just need one. There we go. Okay, let's run those tests a minute. Let's come out of this container. Okay, yep, so we failed because resource isn't defined. Resources isn't defined. So this is resources, and what are we looking for? All of them. So this is get all, and then the next one is get by ID. Get by ID. Now with flow, we would do ID string for this. And it's a get request. And this is a get request. And what else do we need to do? Deal with the imports. Let's run those tests and see what else is broken. So the response can't be fulfilled for some reason. Okay, resources test here. It's get all. It's a get request. Take that off. This is getting all of them. This is getting a resource by a specific ID, which have I passed in yet? Get ID. Sorry, yes, of course. I need to pass that in to here as a parameter. Of course I do. Get a resource. That's the thing that's failing. Why? Get a resource. It's a get request. Resources, and then that's the ID, which is the here. Get by ID. Get by ID. It's a promise. Pass in the ID. That's why. This is why testing is good. Good, they all work. Woohoo! So let's go over to. Did you see that move there? That wasn't me. That was the. When I run make tests, what it's doing is it's running ESlint and then -- fix, which fixes it on the fly, which is really quite clever. So, where are we at with the old list? That's done. That's not bad for a day, for a stream's work. We managed to get 72% of these clear. So I'll work through these probably later tonight, get these done, and then maybe on the next stream we'll start looking at the body of this stuff. But we still also need to go through testing of the back end of this, and so far we've got it all the way down to, where are we? Forgotten password. So we've got to test the profile, the resources, tags, the user, and I've also tested the authentication stuff. These two as well. These three, I should say. So we're getting there. It's getting there. It just seems a little bit slow sometimes but we are getting there. So once the backend is tested on all of this, once I've got tests for all of the requests, then what I'll do is I'll do another pass where I'm testing the post response bodies, because at the moment, you see, if I was to load, let's do find by, let's just take one for example. Here we go. This is enrolling into a course, right? Actually, no, that's a bad example. Let's take the example of the profile, right? So this is the API call to update the profile, so profile edit, right? But I need to supply the body of the post request, and I haven't done that yet. Now each body is going to be very different, of course, to each of the requests. So that's the next pass. Once we have all the endpoints defined, we can then go through the post requests, define their bodies, and what we'll do is we'll use flow for that to define strictly what a body should have in the payload. And then once they're all done, and to be fair, there's not many, there's just, so there's going to be definitely the password stuff, because that we would pass in the email of the reset. Sorry, that's not password. What am I talking about? This one, forgotten stuff. So we definitely need to pass in the email, all right? And then on here we would pass in the password, which I'm yet to define on the endpoint. And then with the profile, we would supply the profile information. Again, I'm yet to do that, because this is basically where we've got to on the testing of the backend. And then with there's some more, isn't there, with the registration. Again, I need to define those, and obviously login and stuff. So there isn't a massive, huge amount of like forms that people fill out on this thing, but they do need to be tested and backed up, definitely. So yeah, once we get through that, and then once that's done, so that's going to be like pass 2, we'll then work through the responses, and we'll create some flow types for responses per set, because at the moment we're just saying I want a string back. Well, that's not the case at all, because if we go to the API, what is returned is a promise of JSON. So this is going to be a JSON object, and because it's a JSON object, we will be able to then create our own flow type. Say that this is promise any, something like that, and then this would be specifically the type that's defined sort of above. And we might have to put these types in a different folder or something to split them out. And then once they're in, we can then update the tests, which are in here, to ensure that we are actually getting back what we say we're getting back. And then once that's done, it's pretty much an end-to-end test there, of mocking, obviously, the API, or knocking the API, intercepting that. So yeah, there's a little bit of work to do. There's quite a lot of work to do, to be honest. Once all that's done, I'll then, push this up to I'll incorporate all of this into the Gatsby front end, and that is a piece of work to do. But I'm glad I'm doing this at this stage, because if I don't do it at this stage, then I think I'll never do it. And this decouples this code from the front end, from the actual website, the Gatsby site, which means that I can now push this, if I wanted to, into various different applications. Maybe one day I decided to create a mobile app for How to Code Well. Well, I could just pass in, if it was a JavaScript app, then I could just supply this API client, and it would basically be my software development kit. So that's where I'm at. Anyway, I need to scoot off because I've got some obviously a working day ahead of me, and I'm going to grab some breakfast. But so thank you ever so much for joining and watching. Do check out that link in the chat because I've published a JavaScript tutorial today. Happy coding, everybody. I'll see you again soon. I'll see you on Thursday. Take care. Cheers. Bye.